So Formative is a website that you can put all of your worksheets or create worksheets or activities for your students to do online rather than paper copies. So they have some pre-made, or you can make them from scratch. You can upload any PDF or Google Doc that you may already have made or have that are worksheets that you already use for your students. But basically, it's transitioning from hard copy documents to online documents that students can use on their computer, on a tablet, or even their phone, and it works perfectly. There are great grading tools. A lot of questions can be graded for you. You can have great assessments, item assessments for your activities, and you even can track student growth, see how they've done over different units, different assignments. And it's a great way to get a feel of how your students are actually doing on those units, lessons, projects throughout the class. For a quick tour around the actual site itself, when you log on, the great thing is that this connects to your Google Classroom account. So if you look at the Classes tab, you'll see those classes there, your students that it syncs. You can also easily add or remove students if that needs to be done. This is the main page. I have added folders for my specific classes, and then within each class, for example, I've got folders of each unit and then the assignments in each of those classes. You can see how many students have completed each individual assignment from this page. If I look at the classes, again, this will show me all of those all of those classes, and if I want to add co-teachers on the paid version, I can do that. Here's where it's going to sync with your Google Classroom. You can also archive classes, but that's something we would look at later. Tracker, I won't show you this right now just for privacy reasons, but this allows you to see each student's name listed, and if they've completed all or a portion of an assignment, you can look at your different classes here, sort by their last names alphabetically. You can see the students' assignments in a specific time period. And then the last thing you have is the library. These are pre-made assessments that you can use. I've used a few of these and they're great. There's all different subjects. You can filter out grade levels, different subjects. You can search for specific topics, but those are pre-made assessments for you. When you begin to create your formative, this is a sample of the type of questions or the type of items that you can add onto your formative. First of all, this allows you to take whatever Google Doc or PDF that you already have created and just upload it, so then all you have to do is share it with your students. If you are making your own, all of these other items are things that you can put on your formative. Some of them only work with the paid version, and some of them are available on the free version. You can add audio, which would be your voice that the students would listen to. Here you can embed things. I embedded a video that I had made on BombBomb. You can add images. Text block allows you to type instructions or possible notes for questions. Videos, YouTube type videos can be added here. Whiteboard allows students to draw on the formative. Audio response would ask a question, and then the students could record their voice for the answer. Categorize, this would be possibly like sorting items out. Essay type questions. Graphing, matching, and multiple choice, multiple selection or multiple choice, numeric, resequence, and short answer. A lot of times, even when I'm doing math type problems in physics or chemistry, I'll use short answer rather than numeric, because the numeric only allows the students to type in numbers, where the short answer, they can type in numbers and give that unit. So maybe if it's feet or meters, they can actually type that in, whereas numeric, they cannot. Show your work is going to give students that whiteboard type that they can use on their phones or tablets or computers, and then true or false. So many of these, it will grade for you. Any of them you can also set to grade yourself. So this is what it looks like when you're creating the document for the students, but this view will give you kind of an idea what the student sees. So if a student is working on a computer, this is what it's going to look like for them. So you can see, you can post pictures. You can have a selection type where they can drag and drop. So a red ball is going to be red, and they would just drop that in there. The next question I have here has them use long division and show me how to divide 245 by 5. So click on show your work, and then it gives them a tool where they can draw, and this will work, like I said, on their phone, a tablet, computer, whatever works best for them. And so then they click and submit their answer. You can insert videos. I've used Edpuzzle before. I think I'm going to use this rather than Edpuzzle because Edpuzzle seems to have some problems. So insert the video, and then you can have them answer questions and type in their question, their answer below. You can upload documents, PDFs, or Google Docs that you already have made. And this is something that I love. So here I had a worksheet already made. I uploaded it. Maybe you don't want them to answer all the questions, so you can just click on the ones that you do want them to answer, and then they would just type their answer on the side. So maybe 45 is my answer there. Then if I scroll on down, here's where you can embed videos. So this was an instructional video I made over remote learning. I've embedded that there. Another aspect that I really like, if you have textbook pages that maybe the kids don't like to take their textbook home, I will take screenshots of the textbook page, put that on a Google Doc, and then you can, again, upload that here. So they can read it off of here, or if maybe it's a chapter review. Sometimes it's not ideal because the wording is small, but on a tablet, this is what the document would look like for them. And then maybe if they're on their phone, it'll give you a little bit different view. So you can kind of see what the students see as you're doing that. So to grade on Formative, for each individual assignment, it's going to give you a list of the students' names and all of the problems in that formative. Each individual one will turn a different color depending if they got it right or wrong. You can see how the class did overall. So for the ones we're seeing here, everyone got all the questions right. If it's wrong, it'll show up as red, or if it's partially right, it's an orangish yellow color. So you can kind of just look at this screen and see how your students did on an individual question. If I open up a specific question, then I see all of the students' answers for that question. If I have green, that means they got it right. If it's incorrect, it's going to show up red. And again, if it's partially correct, it appears orange. One thing on the paid version, if you see these exclamation points, sometimes they're warnings to say, hey, this student probably copied this, or it looks a little suspicious. So it kind of gives you a heads up there. On these open-ended questions, you can manually grade them. So for each student, I had to go in and grade each one, but since it's all the same question, it makes it a lot easier. And the way you do that is you're going to click on the question, and then you have a slider. So the slider allows you to give that student a point value. So no points, it's going to be on the red end. Maybe I want to give them half a point, or if it's fully correct, I can give them the full point. Another type of problem, maybe it is a predetermined answer, so I've already entered that answer. I've said this answer needs to be 0.62 or 0.6. Sometimes the student, for example, might put 0.64. Initially, that's going to be counted wrong and it will show up red. But if it's red, I can look at that and say, yeah, I would accept that answer. And then I would click on it and I would go back. Instead of it showing up as red, I would change it to green. So it makes grading a lot easier. And so here you can see this student got it wrong. So it's a lot easier to identify how the students are doing. This also happens live, so I can have this pulled up on my screen as students are actually working on it, and I can say, hey, you have this one wrong, here's what you might have done, and fix it. So that's great for in-class assessment as they're actually working.